Yo, haha, Milt never said.
What is good, YouTube? Your boy Milt never said back with another video. And actually, I wanted to do this video just to show people because, you know, today is one of those things where a lot of frustration I see is settling in, especially amongst our nation, overseas, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to show you exactly why patience and planning, as in planning ahead, is just so important in life right now, beyond measure. And the reason why I'm saying that is because patience is what leads to stuff like this, right? And I'm not talking about just shoes. I'm bringing shoes as an example because some people come to me and say, how are you able to do A, B, C, D? Planning. Patience, planning is everything. Planning leads to this, right? And I'm not talking about, look, it's the day of the release. Let me try to plan at the last second. Hey, Milton, show me how to do something. I'm talking about weeks ahead of time. Me, I'm a thinker. I'm an active thinker. So I'm always thinking ahead of time. When I do YouTube videos, one of the things that I was thinking about doing is trying to find ways to lessen time spent on the channel in terms of producing the videos, but still being able to produce at a lesser time. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. So in other words, what I did was I looked at what I did in terms of the YouTube channel, how I was doing it, how much time I was spending on it. And what I noticed is I came up with the idea that, hey, Apple products, iPhone, iWatch, iPad, the MacBook, all these items, when they're combined together, it's a beauty, a thing of beauty. So at the time I'm spending talking to you guys, especially on a YouTube channel, let's say a 5-10 minute video would take me 20 minutes maybe to edit, 5 minutes to upload, as opposed to the amount of hours I know that a lot of other people are doing, editing, all that stuff, and it's time consuming. So what I do is I find ways, again, active thinker, I find ways, planning, to reduce the time being spent to do certain things while still being productive. So in other words, I'll give you another example. Where I live, right? A whole bunch of yard. And the time that it would take me to cut that yard with a lawnmower, with a push lawnmower, is significantly reduced if I get a riding lawnmower, right? Because I'm able to get things done at a faster pace, faster time. So the point I'm trying to get at is, again, patience and planning. Two most important things in the world. We're feeling frustration right now in the country because of how bigger corporations operate as a whole, right? And I came across I think it was an article on BBC America, or British Broadcasting, I think, Corporation, where it kind of broke down and it showed us, at least me, how things operate when it comes to, I want to say, overseas shipping. Right? So if I'm a company, I'm a major corporation, I'm not going to name any names, and I solely rely on production companies overseas to produce my things, and I have different production companies, different countries, but I operate corporation-wise, I operate in the United States of America. In the midst of a pandemic, in case you guys living on the rock and don't know that a pandemic is still going on, you got to think about this. Right? So the United States, we're operating completely different from other countries, right? And we're kind of keeping things afloat by keeping corporations open, stuff like that. Meanwhile, overseas, they're shutting things down. So think about that for a second. If they're shutting down, guess what? Now there's a halt in my operations, right? The article basically just explained, you can see it right here, where if you're looking at it from a whole perspective, a corporation that has a production company, let's just say I'm in the United States, so I have one in the United States, or I have a couple in the United States, and I have them overseas as well. That gives me the flexibility. Okay, well, at least this is shut down, this is shut down, this is shut down overseas, but at least I'll still have these two companies here in the United States that are still operating to produce things. I may not be able to produce it as fast as I would like to, but at least I can still have operations still running at a reasonable time. Case point example for your Yeezys, right? The Yeezys, if you look on them, China, Vietnam, I forgot the other place, and even United States, where I think the Yeezy slides and the foam runners are being produced, it gives them that flexibility. When you're a corporation that relies solely, mostly, on production companies overseas that are shutting down, that halts time in your production, that leads to the frustration that we're having when it comes to these shipments. Don't blame FedEx, don't blame UPS, blame the operation of the company. Now, that's not to say, and that's not a shot at most corporations, but understand the domino effect of what's going on, right? So again, this article, I believe it said that it kind of broke down and explained how long it would take for a corporation to ship something from overseas to the United States of America. Okay, but then now that time, as you can see right here, is being expanded. So as an active thinker, me being an active thinker and planning, think about how that's going to affect you, the consumer, on a daily basis, right? If you're messing or you're buying something from a corporation that producing something from the United States of America, of course you're going to get that quicker than you would get from buying something where a corporation that relies solely on something to be produced overseas to be shipped over here. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to I'm trying to break it down so people understand like how I operate, right? How I'm actively thinking and how I think about others when they're doing things. And now, of course, in the US, we also have our own issues where production seems to be down in terms of work, right? Most people are usually either aren't working, retired, and we're feeling the effects of that. And we're feeling the frustration, and I can feel it as well. So I wanted to show people basically from a hindsight of how I'm actively thinking to make my day produced a little bit better. How to buy more time for me to get other things done. Always thinking. So with that, I'll say that to say this. When the Pollens came out, again, this is just an example, because I know people are flipping about, you're talking about shoes. This is just an example. This was the Pollens. These shoes came out. When it came out, everybody had the impulse buy, and it was like, you know what? I think this was like 3-4 months ago. Impulse buy, everybody's trying to buy during the release date. Me knowing that it's going to take time for the majority of the pairs to come from overseas to over here and not to panic during the release day, which was 4 months ago. As long as I'm patient, I know I would have a better chance at getting it. Of course, I usually get what I want when I'm patient and I'm planning accordingly. So this is the Pollens. I saw everybody, they had these Jordan 1 Pollens. I think they're nice. They're definitely nice. Holy smokes. Some things are better off you just waiting off, and it's still as good as the day of the actual release. Again, never got this the day of release, but you can see it is here on the Milton channel via Nike when they did the, I think it was the Jordan Reserve or Second Chance, I should say. Another pair that I wanted to have in the lineup because actually solely of the winter coming up. Most shoes, what people don't know, when I do my shoes, the YouTube channel, stuff like that, if I'm going out and about, and again, this is planning, when I'm going out and about and I'm wearing my shoes, I think about the weather conditions, right? Of course, you got your different products that can protect your shoe and stuff like that, but me personally, to save time, I wear certain shoes in certain weather. If that makes sense. So the next shoe that I went after, planning ahead because winter's not even here, are winterized shoes, right? So one of the shoes that, was like hit and miss. Some people didn't like it, some people did like it. And I'm talking about this. You see in this box right here. So the Air Jordan 12 Utility Black. These are, in my opinion, they're winterized shoes because of the material that they use. Notice I didn't even cover the Jordan 1 Pollens because Jordan 1 is a Jordan 1. You've seen it before. There's no need to cover this, but the utilities. This is a perfect example. The material that they use on there, most like other Jordan 12s, but this recycled material, I think it was like 3% of this is recycled. Reminds me, I'm trying to think of the shoe that I had before, like the Crater Foams. The Nike Crater Foams. I think it was the Hippie Space, I want to say Space Hippie 3s. But they have that kind of, and you'll see a picture right here. They have that kind of example of what they're using on the outsole. And the Space Hippies, when I had that, I say had that because my dog ripped off the top. So, yeah, about that. But anyway, the material in that lasts a long time. This will last a long time because it's winterized, in my opinion. The quality on this shoe is the reason why I wanted to get it. It's black. It goes with anything. So a shoe like this, I would probably wear, honestly, in the snow, believe it or not. I know people go like, what? You're freaking crazy. No, in the snow. It's black. Come on. See, I could take care of this easy. This is like one of those beat down winter shoes that I can wear and have no problem. I don't have to wear like a Concord or a Cool Gray or something like that that's going to be coming out in December where I have to beat that down, right? I like to conserve my pairs. That's just how I operate. Planning and planning ahead is what I do. I'm always a thinker. So it's stuff like that I want people to realize. Like, just because you're seeing things going on in the world, people are frustrated. I think frustration leads to planning as well. Like, if you're not planning ahead or you're not planning at all, you're living in that frustrated moment. So planning ahead is everything. Patience is everything. I'm preaching this because, you know, I'm seeing what's going on. I see a lot of things that's going on, and I feel the frustration. But I'm here to say, patience, especially for others that are doing these odd jobs and stuff like that. I'm not, in my beliefs, I don't think that there's one job that's more important than the other. We have seen that as the lasting effects in the United States of America. We realize that almost every job is done for a reason. But when it's working together, that's how things operate, right? So don't think that just because I'm up here, or you think I'm up here, or I'm down here, you think less or more of me, right? A job is a job. It has to get done. that's just the logistic of things. And that's just me and my history and what I've been doing over the course of my career, right? I know I didn't start up here. I had to down below and work my way up slowly over the course of 14 plus years. It's real like that. So I learned to appreciate more of what people are doing at every job, every position, versus just myself, if that makes sense. So planning and patience, be patient for the people that are out there that are actively working. Planning, if you're trying to get shoes like I'm doing, just do some research on your own time. Don't simply rely on other people to plan for you. You can only plan for yourself because you are the one that only knows your schedule. But your boy Magnificent Man, I just want to kind of drop that video to show everybody a little bit of the real side of me, because a lot of people, there's some do's and don'ts that in terms of my life and what I do. Some people may or may not know about me as a whole person. But again, I'm always an active thinker. I'm not thinking for just a moment. I'm thinking light years down the road. And I'll give you one thing before I go. Christmas is coming up. And I just told you about the whole shipping delays and how it's been expanded from a certain amount of days to a certain amount of days. Plan accordingly. Because here's what I foresee things. This is kind of the way I'm seeing things. If you are a Christmas shopper, you're an active shopper, and you're shopping for your family for Christmas, here's my advice to you. I would shop this month. I would not wait till November. I would not wait till December to get certain things. If you financially can plan ahead and get things now, you don't have to worry about shipping delays. You darn sure have to worry about the stock, the amount of stock of the item or whatever item you're trying to go after for somebody else to gift as a present. Excuse me. Planning ahead, trust me, it'll take you so far and beyond. It's not even funny. And when you're planning ahead and you're patient, you're doing this again on your own, not relying on others, doing it on your own in your own time at a vibe that works for you, it's no better feeling as an individual in the world. But your boy Magnificent Man, Jordan 12 utilities right here, and the Jordan 1 Pollens. Didn't want to really do a review, kind of wanted to show people how patience is key. We know when these came out, they weren't really highly coveted, but they were limited pairs due to the whole production outcome. And then also, same thing with the Pollens. You're seeing these things restock over and over again. Again, patience is key if you guys can do that, not just in the sneaker community, but life in general. The boy Magnificent Man, I am out. It is Saturday. Happy birthday to my son. Whew, time is fine. I feel like I'm old. His birthday is Sunday. And, hopefully we can vibe out and do certain things. I say hopefully because you never know what's going to happen. But your boy Magnificent, I am out. It is Saturday. And you guys, stay blessed.